Hi, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It is definitely morning for me, per usual. And I have this beautiful mug. Look at it, says feeling philosophical. A big shout out to my friend Wendy Wells, who got me this mug, knowing that I love tea. And today I'm having some double chai tea. I didn't make it a latte today, and mixed with another chai tea. So it's actually triple spiced chai. Hi, good morning. Is it Genia? Henia? I always want to pronounce it like in Spanish. Hi, Shaima. How are you? I love that, having this regular time with everybody. You know where to find me. You know where to come back and get some fun tools, get some good discussion, really be able to keep building our community. That is part of how I like to speak fluent me is to know that the words that I'm speaking out into the world are bringing people together and that they're connecting us and that are contributing to the world, contributing to hopefully your world, your lives, your families. And it's been really cool to begin and end my weeks with y'all. So we have the Monday calls where we're doing these different themes right now, Speak Fluent You. And then Friday is our Family Fridays where we actually talk about different tools that contribute to our families and my experiences with all of this stuff. It's been really, really great. So today we're talking about Speak Fluent You, but specifically with how we receive messages, because part of what sometimes stops us from actually showing up completely as ourselves and having ease with speaking and expressing ourselves is the messages that we're getting. So I wanted to look at that for y'all. And people message me all the time. People ask me all the time. I just got asked twice this weekend. Siris, but how do you know? Like, how do you know that it's time? How do you know that this is who you should talk to? How do you know fill in the blank, right? And it's messages. It's messages from my awareness, messages from my body, messages from the universe, messages from other people's bodies, messages from the groups that I create, from the classes that I'm creating. I talk to that and talk with those things and those people and those entities like they're people with bodies. And they talk back and they talk back in very different ways. So today, oh, and hi. Let me know you're here. If you're here, that sounds great. I love it. We're going to be going through a couple different ways that you can receive messages. We can continue this discussion if you'd like. I'm going to try to be as succinct as possible because I could easily talk about this topic for hours and I love it. I particularly love empowering people to know how they are already receiving messages from their bodies, from the planet, from other people, and then how they can actually increase how they're receiving it, but not so much with intensity, even though sometimes it comes with it, but the clarity of it, like knowing the difference between is this real or is this just me making it up in my head? That's the other question I get a lot. And I'm going to provide some clarity for with that hopefully as well. So if you need some more information about it, let me know. But one of the things, let's start. So today, perfect example with my tea. And my chai tea, I actually was like, all right, body. So which kind of tea would you like today? Usually my body sends me like a picture in my head or a word, or I just know, oh, this one. And it's not a picture or the sound or the word, it's just jasmine tea or chai tea. Well, today I was kind of getting it. I got like the energy of strong and something that makes you go, and then I'm looking through my box of teas and big shout out to Maggie. I'm going to shout out to everybody today. Today is a shout out day. That's what I'm doing with my Speak Fluent You energy. So shout out to Wendy for my mug. And a big shout out to Maggie for my tea. She gave me during a really stressful time when we were still transitioning and dealing with my grandmother being here and her health issues. Uh, Maggie gave me a multiple boxes of all these variety teas, and I've been just going through them still. It's so great. So big shout out to her. Um, and with that, I was smelling the teas and I was smelling the different ones. And as soon as with that smell, it was like, yes, the yes of the tea of this one. And but it was like, and more, because I still was getting the energy of the knowing of it needs to be intense. It needs to make me go, huh, just yes, let's do this. Like it really makes you feel more enlivened, right? And the idea of having these messages and knowing how you're receiving them is it so that you have more clarity on how to live your life and how to make it more fun and enjoyable and how to be more like in touch with your body so that you can receive more with your body, including more pleasure and enjoyment, more money and inspiration, all these different things. Which, some of you are in our Money Your Way group. It starts today. I'm so excited. And we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about messages around money and how we can actually increase our messages with money, how we can use that to our advantage to create and have more money. So I'm really excited about that. So smell, there's some other ways. Like I'm also going to mention some examples that I get from my clients and my friends and family. Like my mom says that when she smells metal, she knows that somebody has like a malicious intent toward her. And so she's learned that that is something that's information that can guide her. And now that she's developed her awareness through the sense of smell, and she has actually developed it in all these different ways. So what are the ways that you've gotten information from smell that was telling you that was a message to you? Go ahead and put that in the chat and let me know. I love, love, love knowing about other ways that people are receiving messages, because some of these examples I've experienced, but some of them it's from other people telling me. And I just love knowing that there's all these other ways. And for each of us, it's going to be different. So what if you knew how you were receiving messages more clearly? All right. Some of us just know, like I already got the example, I already gave the example of like, ooh, I know that it's going to be a tea that's really like, that's going to be like really great. I definitely use this when I'm going on dates and things like that. And I'm like, okay, what's it going to be like to date this person? And even before I go on the date, I can kind of get a sense like, oh, it's going to be fun. Oh, it's going to be a mixed bag, or it'll be fun, but it's not really going to go anywhere. So I go because it's going to be fun. Is it going to make me money to go on this date? Is it going to be enjoyable? Is it going to, what is it going to be? I just say, what's it going to create? And just see what energy shows up. And a lot of times we know if we're asking from a space of no judgment, when we're asking without any projections and expectations, when we're not already concluding that of course it's going to be crappy because dating is a nightmare. Oh my God, dating is so hard. Well, I don't have that point of view that dating is so hard and it's a nightmare. And so I get to have a lot more fun with dating, and I get to have a clear awareness and a knowing of what will my dates be like. And also I won't know all the details, but I'll have the energy of it, and then I can go off of that. So that's pretty cool. How many of you have had a knowing about something before you've gone to an event, gone on a date with somebody, before you've started a new job, and you were like, oh, this is gonna really be awesome. And you just know it, or this is gonna be horrible. And maybe you follow that knowing, or maybe you don't. I love this comment in the chat. Sometimes vibrating in my body is how I perceive and receive messages. Ew, I love it when that happens. I'll have some of that my way. I love it. Thank you. Um, Touch. So sometimes we're getting messages from touch. I suspect we're always getting messages from touch, honestly. It's just, are we acknowledging them? Are we perceiving them? Are we like actually using that awareness through touch to our advantage? I love empowering my parents and guardians. I work with people that are adoptive parents, biological parents, step parents, teachers. Ooh, that energy was really interesting there. You see how it kind of went, is it just me on my end? It slowed down for a little bit. And I love letting them know how they can use the information that they're getting through touching the infant's body, the baby's body, their toddlers, the kids in their classroom, how that touch can inform them as the caregiver, and also how that can provide information to the child, how that can provide nurturing, a calming energy. So, perfect example. I was talking with someone this weekend, and I was talking to them about one of the aspects of my business, one of my other businesses that is working with holistic physicians. And she was like, "Is it okay if I have my baby with me as a 2.5 month newborn?" I was like, "Of course." Bring it on, right? And she's like, "Well, sometimes he might be fussy, he might get upset." And I was like, "No, he won't. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I'm kind of a baby whisperer. It's fine. He'll be fine." And lo and behold, he was great. He did a great job. He was really quiet. He did a little every once in a while, but that's nothing. And she was like, "How did you know?" Again, how did you know? And I was like, "This is what I asked the baby's body. What would create that nurturing, that calm space for them?" The baby's name is Otto. What a great name is that, right? I know, I love it. And I also made sure that to send the message to the parents, like just keep providing him the touch that he needs to feel assured that it's okay, that yes, he's going to be hearing my voice, and my coworkers' voices that are talking about this, and it'll be okay. We're going to include his body in the discussion. So what if it wasn't like, oh, we have to have the baby to the side and worry about it? It's like, let's include his awareness in our discussion about business, because babies know a lot about money and business, but nobody asks them about it. And so I'm this weird, crazy lady that does. And so the parents got to have a lot of awareness about what was going to work with them with business and related to this particular business of mine that they wouldn't know otherwise, maybe. Because the baby was like really, oh, thank you for asking me, and adding in their input energetically and then through the touch. So the parents were getting the touch of the baby. The dad was holding the baby the whole time I was speaking with both parents, and the baby was letting them know things, and the dad was letting the baby know things. And it was this beautiful, just melding of energies that was just, it was really lovely to be around. They're really lovely parents and a lovely family. But these are the things that can happen when we're willing to receive these messages through all the senses, okay? Um, I see a comment in the chat, and oh, and I receive dreams before they come. So you get the information through dreams before it happens. My brother, too. So he has a very prophetic gift. That's another way that we can receive information from the future. So he basically was telling me one time after we were having this conversation about just how we receive messages. It was a family discussion. It was me, my mom, my sister, my brother, and we were sitting at the dining room table. And, how lucky am I? I'm so, so grateful that I have a family that I can have these discussions with. And I get that that's not always the case. So I love that we have this group where we can have these discussions in this group, right? Um, my brother was saying, "Oh yeah, I'm basically living perpetually in deja vu. Like everything that I'm experiencing all the time is constantly, oh yeah, I knew this was going to happen, or I dreamt about this, right?" And so for me, I'm always like, well, what if you use that more to your advantage? Like if you ramped it up, he just is so it's such his normal that he doesn't even really think about it. And for me, I'm like, that's awesome. And what could you do with that? Like let's use that, right? So that's the other one. There's the from the future. And from the future can come with all the different senses. It can be, from seeing it, he often sees it. He has a, very visual person. He's hard of hearing, but he's not hard of hearing. And he is very, very visual and really benefits from that. And he also uses it with this prophetic gift that he has. So that's pretty cool. Ah, it's a beautiful comment. This group seems like an unexpected family. That's what I was hoping to create with y'all. Like, not everyone has access to their family all the time. Not everyone, even if they have a loving family, can have these discussions about this weird, different, crazy stuff. And not everyone has parents and family and that they can that still have bodies like that, they are still connected with them energetically, but they would like those hugs. They would like that, to hear their voices a little bit more clearly. And I like facilitating that. Which gets to the next one as well. So I said that my brother gets these visions, right? And he sometimes will perceive the future in his dreams, and that's, the dreamland. If you guys haven't checked out the dreamland video, I'm gonna put a note to myself in here to post about the dreamland video for y'all, because that's a great way, reminder to post. Yeah, because if I don't tell myself, y'all, it's a full day today between talking with y'all, clients, and starting the Money Your Way group today. It's packed. So, with this, with the Dreamland, that's one way to get the visuals and things like that. I just got another example I'm going to come back to about my past, where I get messages from my past all the time as well, and a really cool, nonlinear, unexpected one showed up, just this weekend. But the other one that comes to mind is the hearing. So, we're talking about, so some people, they don't have their family that they'd really like to communicate with living anymore. They don't have bodies anymore. And so I love making those connections with people with the family that has passed. And it shows up in a lot of different ways. Sometimes, people don't even explicitly ask for it, but then the people will show up in their energies during a private session. Sometimes it'll be in a class. Sometimes I'm having a conversation with them and I'm like, so who's so and so named Mary that loves this yellow flowers? And because Mary's here and it's a yellow flower, or oh, who's this male energy that you would something with bike riding, and then it's my uncle Tony who used to bike ride cross country, blah blah, like these messages have started to come in. And I remember when I was in my teens and 20s, I totally was not receiving these energies with ease. It was really challenging for me, and I doubted it a lot. I feared them a lot. I thought I was going crazy, and I was having a lot of health issues at the time, so I didn't feel like having anything else to deal with. I was like, I don't want anything else. And then I went to a Celebrate Your Life event. I think I was in my 20s at the time in Illinois, and they have all these different speakers and mediums and authors and just people from all over the world. It's really cool. And James Van Prague, and I'm going to put his name here for y'all. You should definitely check him out. You might know his name actually. I think it's with two G's, two A's or two G's, I think. It might be another A in Prague, but he was part of the the advisors, one of the advisors and the initial creators of the TV show Ghost Whisperer. Maybe you've seen it. And they were really honoring of these energies and the information of how it really is like to receive messages from those that have passed. And then it started becoming more about sensationalism and misinformation. And so he disconnected from being associated with the show after a while, because he was like, I don't want to have people have misinformation about what this is. But definitely check out his website, and he has a lot of really cool classes and things like that. And I got to meet him in person and take some classes on mediumship, which I don't know why it keeps hiding the chat here. Mediumship. And there's a lot of different mediumships. And so all these things that I'm talking about are different kinds of mediumship. It's which way are you receiving the messages? Is it through sound? Is it through hearing? Is it through touch? Is it through a prophetic gift? What is it like? It's all these different ways. And he did this really great exercise where I know now that it unlocked for me the beginning of me receiving a lot more with hearing and with touch and with from entities, those that do not have bodies right now. Yes, Ghost Whisperer. Oh, add another ER. Yes. And so in this session that I had, he asked us to partner with somebody else, and long story short, my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, showed up and gave me a hug from the back, right? And I could just perceive her hug, and it was every sense it was involved. I knew it was her right away. I couldn't see her. I couldn't see her with my eyes, but when I closed my eyes, I could kind of like feel her hair here and feel her, obviously the hug. I could smell this chantilly kind of talcum powder that she would cover me with when she used to bathe me. And I just started crying. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot about you. And what I mean by that is that he asked us, well, who is someone that has transitioned, that has passed away, that might want to speak with you? And I was like, I don't know anybody. I can't think of anybody, which was a total lie. I'm totally blocking. Like anytime I was like, I don't know, you're blocking your awareness. So she didn't care and she came and visited me. And that was the beginning of one of many beginnings of my journey with receiving messages in a multisensory way. And so even though I'm talking about them separately, like they all intersect, they can all contribute. So you, and I love it when they're like multiple of them are there. It really makes it so it blows out a lot of the doubt. When it's sometimes when you just feel it or you just hear something, when an idea pops into your head, it's for my experience, a lot of people are more likely to doubt it versus when it's multisensory. So my target with my clients and with my classes and people who are in my classes is for them to have the messages as multisensory as possible, at least two or three senses involved. So it blows out that doubt from their world. It gets rid of the fear as well, because they get that this is actually not them being crazy, or that that's something in danger, that it's like, oh, I knew it was my grandmother versus some random person, which I now am finding to receive messages from random people too. But at that time in my journey, I was not. So I was really glad that it was her, and it was this beautiful, lovely, nurturing experience. Um, and then, gosh, there's so many examples I can give here. So let me pause for a second. So let's talk a little bit. So how have you received messages? Some of you have talked about the dreams in dreamland. Have you received messages through touch? I know many of you have kiddos, or you work with kiddos. Like, how much are the kids in your lives communicating with you through the touch? I have parents that know all the different cries. Like, these are just a lot of times also even just acknowledging the simple ones that are messages, and then generalizing them and expanding them into these other areas of our lives where we don't realize that we're also still receiving messages. So there, for me, there's no difference between receiving messages through the different baby cries. Oh, that's a I need to change a diaper cry. Oh, that's a I need milk cry. Oh, that's a oh, I'm sleepy and fussy cry. I know the differences. There's no difference between that to me and, oh, that person just said something, but that's a lie. Oh, that person just said something and they're really insecure about what they said and they need some validation. Oh, that person just said this and they're looking for me to complete the sentence for them, or they're still searching for that word, or the sentence that they said, most of it was there, but there's this one word that it's like they, even as they're saying it, they don't really believe that that's quite the word. So what is the word? And then maybe I'll get the word. So there's no difference in that for me. It's all getting information with hearing and knowing connected, right? It's all there. It's just why we're choosing to keep them all separate. We're choosing to not have it apply to the other things. All right, which ones haven't we talked about yet? We talked about smell. Gosh, so many different things with that. We talk about knowing. Gosh, there's so many things we could think about with that. Like somebody was saying, this is tricky because your perception, your point of view creates your reality, and so there'll be these moments when you talk with someone, and no matter what you say, they think that you're trying to scam them. They think that you're judging them. They think that you're lying to them, even though you're not. And that's their point of view. So you can't convince them otherwise. And that's fine. I'm not actually suggesting for you to convince them at all. But one of the things that we can control and that we do have power in, and that we can speak fluent us with, is knowing when something's true for us or not. And so when more and more people are willing to actually ask the questions of like, oh, this is coming up for me. Is this actually true? Or is this me being triggered? Or is it, me perceiving all these other people that have had this thought when they were talking to this person? Like, I've interacted with people, like, even let's say, perfect example. I was talking with somebody the other day and I was like, wow, like they're full of crap. And I was like, wait, that has a different thing than my usual lie detector, boop, 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 kind of vibration of like when I know someone, what is that? And I was like, oh, wow, that actually isn't true for me, that I believe that they're full of crap. Are they actually full of crap right now? No, they're really being genuine and sweet and very, intentional and earnest right now. Okay, so what is that? It's like, how many people have talked to this person and think that they're full of crap? And I'm picking up on that. And I was like, oh, and then I just wanted to give the person a hug all the more because here they are showing up as them. And I get that this might be relevant to a lot of the people in the group where here I am, I'm doing my best, I'm being genuine, I'm really sweet, and it's not really being appreciated. And it's over and over and over again where there's a lot of people that are just kind of casting me to the side. And so it's like, why am I going to keep putting myself out there? And so then I finally put myself out there, this one person, and this you could be that person for people. If you're willing to perceive the difference between when it's actually a lie and when it's you being aware of other people's projections on this person or how they've been feeling about this person. Man, what a gift could that be? So instead I was like, oh yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I said that to this person. I was like, I totally get what you're saying. You're really sweet. I can see how some people might not get it and might not really think that you're genuine about this, but I want you to know that I know that you're really being honest and upfront with me about it. And this person just melted. They're like, thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much because I was about to give up. I was about to give up on even trying to talk to people anymore. Um, so many people question kindness. So many people question and doubt sweetness and just trying to have their back. I had that with somebody else recently where they were like, oh, this is a scam and all these different things related to one of my other businesses. And I was like, you've been interacting with me for years. Did you really think I would scam you? Okay, well, that's interesting. And I got right away that it was a lie in their world where they thought that they were told all these lies and they bought it and now they're projecting it at me. And I was like, okay, well, whenever you're ready, I'm here. And whenever you're ready, I got you. And that's it. And just let it go and go on to the next person that's willing to talk to you. And I think a lot of us, when we get that information, we try to dig in and then analyze it more and doubt it more and fixate on it instead of like, oh, I got this information. All right. Do I need to do anything about it? Cool, I'll do it. Do I not? Oh, nothing? I don't need to do anything about it? All right, I'm going to go to the next person. And so we get stuck in the message or in the is it true, is it not true, instead of like, oh, it's not true. Got it. Next, then I don't need to worry about it if it's not true. Oh, it's true. Cool. Am I going to lean in or is there anything to do and go from there? So it's just, what if we didn't fixate on the messages? We just got a message. Like it's just like a quick text. It's the same as like getting a text. Okay, text, you answer it, you don't answer it, and you move on to the rest of your day, right? That's how I see every different way that I've received messages. It's just quick. And as soon as I am taking longer with it, then there's probably a lie there. There's probably somewhere where I'm lying to myself or that I'm perceiving a lie for somebody else. And I just ask, where's the lie here? Where's the lie? Because that's what happened with that person where I was like, oh, he's full of crap. Wait, is he full of crap? And it was just like, wait, when I started going like this, I was like, oh, there's a lie here. Because all of a sudden I'm like, not just like, it's full of crap and I'm done. And next, it was like, this person's full of crap. But then it was sticky there. There was some kind of like pulling me down with it. And I was like, well, where's the lie here? Is he actually full of crap? Oh, he's not. So, well, who is full of crap? Everybody that's talked to this person most of their life. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. Like, So, and there's a lot of people that have been talking to us that have been full of crap. Some of them knowing that they're full of crap. Some of them not knowing because it's completely unconscious that they're full of it. And we go from there. Okay. So, yes. I'm going to leave you with this last thing, how to actually start developing these different ones. Well, first start with where you're already receiving the messages, right? And then pick one that would be fun to develop and start actually looking for the messages from that. Like, oh, where is it that if I don't have really a sense of smell and I'm not receiving messages from smell, um, where could I actually add that in more? Where else is this here? Like actually asking for information through that sense. And when you ask for it, you start to actually call up that vibration and playing with it more and catching yourself receiving those messages. So for me, I got feelings first. I always was feeling everybody's pain. I was feeling everyone's anxiety. I was feeling everyone's sadness. It created a lot of upheaval in my world. But my mom had knowing, and she was fast, and it was not creating as much of an upheaval. And I was like, oh, I'd like that. I'd like to just know a lot faster. What would that be like? And as soon as I started asking, it started showing up. So I would start knowing, oh, this person's lying. That was a big one for me. That was the one that came first, was knowing when people were lying or not, and acknowledging where I was already knowing that for years. But I was letting my feelings sense and how I was receiving messages from feelings eclipse my knowing and the information I was getting through knowing. Um, oh, thank you for that lovely message. Ah, I'm gonna keep showing up for you, baby. I'm gonna keep showing up for me, for you, for everybody. Thank you. And yeah, and what if we could all show up more with the way that we're receiving messages? So pick one, start acknowledging the ones where you're already receiving messages, and then start to pick one first. Definitely, you will never hear me say you can only pick one, because that is not me. I'm all about choosing it all your way. But start with one and really play around with it and see how many more messages you can get with it. It might be vision. I sometimes see people, and another way that I perceive that they're not really being themselves is all of a sudden their face changes. It's like different, like in Game of Thrones, where the person that had no face, their face was changing. I would see that on their face, and I was like, oh, got it. They're not really being them right now. It's other things going on. They're actually maybe being their mom, or they're being, something else. And so that would be a vision, right? You're seeing it visually. There's so many fun ways that this can show up. Keep me posted on how it shows up for you. You can send me direct messages. You can put messages in the chat here so that the other group members can also enjoy your aha moments. And I look forward to continuing our chat on Speak Fluent You next Monday right here in our group. Until next time, bye for now.